Hi, welcome, guys, for another podcast session. In Eruption, we'll be talking about the music industry of Nigeria. So straight to it, we're already talking so we have to save it for the main conversation. So yeah, I just want to hear what everyone's listening to. What are we bumping or what are we stuck on if that happens? It's anybody what's particular song that's in rotation right now? So I could go first. Yeah, Nigerian song.
I'm actually stuck on worship still. I don't know. Worship comes.
Glory to God. Glory to God.
What?
No,
No.
it's talking about an artist though. Nesuchi. It's not talking about re-worship.
Uh, okay, there's an artist called Worship.
Yeah.
Wow, all of them are not from my hand. What's this?
Guy.
Hey God, I beg.
No,
Oh, wow.
no,
That's
that's actually it's called war, like war as per fight,
Uh,
WAR, and sheep.
WER then
Sheep as
SHEEP.
per like shepherd and sheep, that sheep. Uh Anyways, I've been stuck on
okay.
worship. But yeah, also like in Nigeria on Apple, there's this Nigeria top 100.
Yeah.
Like Philo is there.
Profilo by Bella Shmurda, yeah?
Yeah. Philo. Anyways, it's quite, but it has been on my head. You know those songs that they just
Yeah.
they live rent free.
Nigerian music has that power just to be in your head without even singing.
You
Without
understand?
you even knowing it.
Yeah. So Philo, Nzaza, bro. Anyways, we have to give a dedicated session for Asake, but
No,
Nzaza.
Ashake is clear. Ashake is clear.
Yeah. But Nzaza and Philo, and then worship. Worship. Everything about worship, anyways, but Augusto.
Alright.
Okay.
What of you, Emeka?
Okay, well, I've gone back to the olden days, man. Presently, the Nigerian artist I'm listening to the most is
Mhm.
King Sunny Ade.
Alright,
And
that's fire.
Real Igbo guy.
so I've been listening to King Sunny Ade. I think the song I've listened to the most is Appreciation. Then of course, I feel like at this point in time, if you're Nigerian and Ashake is not in your rotation, like go somewhere else in the morning, on the way back home, in my dreams, even when I'm going to sleep. So Ashake and King Sunny Ade, those are the guys in my rotation presently.
Aye, that's cool. Zunji, how are you?
Okay, may I listen to a lot of gospel, gospel
Yeah,
music.
still.
That's what
I hope
rotates
gospel is
around
not
me.
somebody's name again.
No. Because I also sing. I mean, to be so there. I listen to. There's a guy called Lawrence Oyo,
Aye.
Theophilus Sunday,
Yeah,
and then GUC.
That's good.
There's this GUC album that came out, and then with Ndosi Onyeka. Yesterday was his birthday, so these are the guys I listen to.
Happy birthday, Pastor Johnson.
Happy birthday, Mr. Dawson.
To sing.
The Yana was if they listen to our podcast. Anyways.
Yeah, Nesuchi, what of you?
Okay, well, just like Musa, I think Musa, just like Emeka earlier said, I'm also kind of really in touch with old school music now. The person I listen to the most as of right now, as in the most, is Bright Chimezie. You can check him out. He's the founder of Zigima style of music. Very, very passionate singer. And the guy sings African, he sings African liberation, he sings African identity. I mean, you should listen to him. And funny enough, I just got to know that he was born 1960, October 1st. So, it's just for me, because when I found out that was his birthday, I was like, I no wonder, because the guy's songs are so I don't know. So he hits the head, and yeah, I was privileged to be on a road trip, and the person that was from here to from Lagos back to Abuja, and the person that was driving kept on playing his songs, and I was like, who could this be, right? And then I googled him, and then I started listening to him, and it's really wonderful to know that even his songs are on Apple Music because they sound so archaic, and you'd be wondering, who is this guy? But then, yeah, his words are wonderful, and also the Ziggy style of music,
Yeah.
because that's almost similar to what I play. Yes, is it comes to play. But then outside that, I don't really have anybody I listen to until him now. I don't really have anybody. If I hear a song and it's nice,
You
I
just
just
listen to
download
it.
it and add it to my playlist. That's
Yeah.
just how it works for me.
Yeah.
I know for a while I was stuck on that Sugar Cane remix. Um, and which other one? I think that's like the latest I've been stuck on among any of all those. Apart from that, I just listen to, and then this Bonner Boys album, I think two songs there also caught my attention. Common Person and one other one too. So yeah, my music life is not really tailored towards any particular individual, but ever since I
Uh-huh.
found Bright Chimezie, it has been a wonderful ride so far. I encourage everybody listening to also look him up and enjoy his music, especially if you're a lover of African history and African identity, Nigerian history, and all of that.
Yeah. That's cool. Like I really do fancy or appreciate the fact that some people's music they really do transcend through time. Like the fact that some of you guys are listening to people that were not born. Well, yes, their music still can see they can still like slap or relate now. I really find that like the strength of music. I feel if your music doesn't really transcend or people in the next generation don't say, guy, wow, who is this person? Like who was this person that was singing or rapping like this, that kind of thing. I feel like you didn't really hit the nail on the head. That's why, like, the thing about Emeka saying, like, creatives don't really have so much, like, the real people that are really talented don't really have, like, so much voice. But I feel last, like, they their voices shall be heard, like, one way or the other, because people truly like, people, people nowadays really do value good things. I would say that about us, like, coming people on our generation really do value good things, and if someone is really talented, although the guy might not really have like so much status like let's say Bonner, Reese, but in his small scope, like he has die-hard fans that are listening to him, and his music will obviously or her music will obviously transcend through time. I really find that like the strength of music, the fact it can transcend and be eternal. So it's so beautiful, honestly. Yeah. So what's our favorite artist if you have, and why? Oh, I didn't even say mine. Like what song I'm listening to or what I'm stuck on. I would say like Nigerian wise, I've been stuck on this Show Them Camps album. It's really me fire. Like I like the fact that when they rap, they don't really imitate American accent, however, it's just what do you call it? Nigerian accent, and you can feel like the rawness and creativity in their voices, and the fact that they really do have the best hooks. Like they find people with the best hooks. It's obvious that they didn't just like enter the music like the booth and just make songs for making sake. Like they often have chemistry with the person that is going to sing the hook or that go to like collab with that kind of thing. So moving on. What do you say? Like what is each person's favorite music genre? Is it genre or genre?
Genre.
Genre. Aye,
Yeah.
aye. Favorite music genre.
Oh, sorry, please, can somebody help me? What's the origin of that word?
Waiting concern us. Like
No, we're discussing music. It's important for us to even understand what all these that at least something like is
it's
it
not
they say it's genre
but
now.
it's not only
What's that?
music now. And when we were in literature class, we're using genre for books as well.
Genre.
You know what I'm talking about?
What's not the one
Exactly what
from
it is. No, I think the one for books is genre. Then the one for
Eh,
music is something like that.
Are you serious?
No, it
that's
is the
different
same thing now.
pronunciation.
Okay, because I've been saying genre for everything. Oh, let it not be like I
No, it's the same thing now.
I always try
thank
my
God.
best not to even say the word because I'm confused.
So,
It was like when I go out and I say Google or Google. I don't really know, man.
so you
Which
just
one
say
is it?
browser.
Yeah, I don't say, guy. I said something on my search engine. Something like that. Guy, I don't like. If I'm not sure of something, I'll just be like, oh, I would just say something that a word that is alike or similar to the word, that kind of thing. So yeah,
Yeah.
favorite music genre. Music genre. Our favorite music genre. Let's start with who will start now? Let's start with Nesuchi.
Okay, so
Because
that's a
your
very
artist in
difficult
the
question.
genre, or like your artist and why.
Okay, so I would say Zigma because that's the one that Bright Chin is here for, and it's almost similar to all those them Sonny Ade styles. But then apart from that, I'll pick two. I'll pick that and I'll pick reggae. So for reggae, I don't really have anybody. I feel like anybody that has the slightest music sense, and that is one thing I like about reggae. Anybody that has the slightest music sense can do wonders with reggae. This man, I don't know how many of us have watched this his comedy skit that he sang a reggae, just the other day. I don't know how many of us know that somebody
Clint,
should let me
Clint
know.
the drunk, Clint the drunk,
Yeah, hey, clean the
Clint the
drum.
drunk
Thank
now.
you.
Oh, but this
You know,
old
and
man. Look at this
Clint the
old
drunk.
man.
Yeah.
thank you, clean the drug. And I don't know if you have not heard that joke or that comedy skit, man. You should listen to it. Out of the blues, okay, well, he must have planned it, but it just came out. And if you hear it, he started from the bassist, the guitarist, that's the lead guitarist, the keyboardist, the drummer. He gave all of them their parts, and he just started singing absolute rubbish. And it was entering like it was just. In fact, I love the song. I can sing from beginning to the end. And I'm almost sure that he made it up on the stage because the guy is not normally okay. So yeah, that's one thing I love about reggae. And one thing I've also noticed as somebody that also creates music in my own little way is that any other from hip hop, from the rest of them, any of them can be twisted into reggae once the person who is composing knows exactly what he's doing. So for me, Zigma is almost like reggae, but it's not because I love the way Bright does his things. And if you ask me for my favorite artist in that genre, that would be him. But then on a general scope, I love reggae, and I can't pick anybody, like I said. And that's one of the unique things about reggae. For people who listen to reggae, you'll love it. But then, let me also just mention somebody who I feel is an authority. Zunji, we seem to be on the same wavelength. Please, what's the name of this man that sang this song about Africa? God, I can't remember him now. The guy sings a lot of reggae. He's
Uh,
quite old.
oh,
Huh?
Lucky Dube. Lucky Dube.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Lucky Dube is an authority in reggae, and also it's not that he's really my favorite, but I just have to mention him.
Yeah,
He
flowers.
has done wonderful work with reggae. He
Alright.
also sings ancient songs. So, I mean, if you're someone like me who loves to listen to the past, then that's what you should be listening to.
But wait, to calm down.
Alright.
Like, you no be Nigerian now.
Lucky Dube is not Nigerian.
What
Bro.
country is he from, Zev?
Like, I think it's South African. Like, he has that Jamaican mix though, but he's not not Nigerian. Like, it's the
Oh,
same period with Bob Marley them now. So
okay. I didn't know.
yeah, I think it's SA, South Africa.
Alright. South
All
African
right.
guy love some people. But now I still get the gocha fella.
Yeah, but I mean, like with Nigeria, like with reggae these days. I mean, apart from Patoranking, honestly, I can't even think of any other artist that does reggae in Nigeria. It's only Patoranking that comes to my head.
The only person I knew that year was Patoranking and Sita Morgan. They can't do reggae. But I don't know. I've not heard Sita Morgan in a very long time.
Even Pato self, no, they come on like that again.
Bonner can do everything. I've seen him do small of this thing, sha. That guy is still good. Sha. So Musa, what have you like favorite genre artist and why?
Okay, let me explain something. See, for me,
Mm-hmm.
music is music is too deep. You know, like for example, I wash my playlist. Like my playlist gets old. I mean, like
Mm-hmm.
it's seasonal for me. So I can't really, if I say I have a favorite music or whatever, right? It's for that particular season. Like for the next season, there's like something else. So it's really hard for me to say, like this person is my favorite, this person is not my favorite.
Artist.
Like I
But like
have
what genre though? Like at least you should have
like
like that kind of thing that you are bouncing between maybe three genres of music. Like you can even pick two to be your favorite. Because
yeah,
there's so many.
like me myself, I'm a deep R&B person. Like I love
Yeah,
R&B so much.
me too.
But obviously, like in Nigeria, right, there are limited guys that do R&B, like good I mean, like Georgia kind of R&B,
Yeah.
like black kind of R&B. But in Nigeria, that's the thing. I can remember a period where I was listening to Simi, like I was watching Simi all over again, listening and listening and listening, right? Then I moved on to Fowls, right? Then I listened to Burna Boy. For me, these three guys, they just like a lot of Nigerian lyrics is nonsense. See, the people holding Nigerian music industry is producers, oh, honestly. Like, if you think about it, like it's people that make the beats, not really the artists, right? Obviously, the artists are important, but like if you don't have those beats, man, if you listen to Nigerian musicians sing as per like how they are talking, a lot of us will not even like will not care about them, right? But like with Simi Falls and Burna Boy, I just found I could hear their story in their songs. And for me,
Mm-hmm.
that was powerful. I don't see that like for other artists, it's hard to do that. Like they don't allow you to see them so much, right? It's a lot of boobs, ass, and all these, sexual things that you can't really see through at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Cash and money and let's go and club, all those kind of things. But yeah. But again,
Yeah.
like honestly, another deep thing for me in Nigeria, right? Is just the gospel industry in Nigeria is mad. I mean, like it's crazy. And I'm a deep like Victoria Renzi dancing. um there's this what was this guy's name again? But yeah, like there was a point I was listening to Victoria Renzi all over again. I mean, and that's the thing, like they're so powerful, spiritually speaking.
Yeah.
I don't get a favorite genre because it's seasonal to me. Not like food. Sometimes you go like this one, sometimes you go like the other one.
Mm. But we don't listen to everything now though. You listen to
I do.
classical music.
What?
You listen to classical music.
Nigeria get Nigeria get classical.
Guy, fun fact is like I feel if you do your research, but if you
Nigeria
focus
no
on
get
listening to
classical now.
I don't feel if you do your research, I feel you could find a
Wait,
Nigerian that's doing classical music.
Nesochi
Guy,
can
we're too
answer. Like I
talented.
don't think
We're
if
doing
there's
everything
classical,
now.
Nesochi will tell us. Nesochi does Nigeria have classical musicians?
No, we don't have classical music here.
Uh-huh.
We don't.
Classical now.
Oh, I've
Maybe there
never
are
played
people.
their
Any
fusion with
classical
classical
piece
music.
that was
No,
written by Nigerian in Nigeria, we don't really have. It's not our style. We don't have it. It's not our culture. One thing about
yes, it's
music
not our
culture.
culture.
Classical. They were not classic people in this part of the world, so we
Yes,
we don't
like
have that.
hip hop is the culture.
In America,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hip hop is the
synonymous.
culture.
I listen
Yeah.
to
That's
everything.
where MI went to go and soak himself when they sent him
Yeah.
to school.
Emma is another Kai. Emma is another boss. So when you um yeah, I listen to everything. Like, as long as I hear you, I will give you time. If I hear your nonsense, I will just abandon and forsake you for a long time.
I feel as when artists need to be, I don't know, more in depth with their art. Not necessarily that you should look for the, I don't know what's the best one now. Not necessarily that you should try your best to be so artistic, but try your best not to be so Like,
Don't be commercial, bro. That's just it. Like,
yeah,
be
that's it.
true
The
to
problem is
yourself.
Yes,
that's
commercial.
one biggest
Commercial
problem.
is
Yeah,
spoiling
For me,
everything. Oh,
yeah,
that thing
it's
is
spoiling
I agree
everything.
with that.
Yeah.
Everybody
but the
wants to
thing is,
sing what
but
what they
can we
feel
blame them, bro?
everybody is feeling.
Well, like you
You know,
can't.
like sorry,
I don't think you
can
can
everyone
blame
hear me?
them totally.
Yeah. Emeka, I think was to something. Emeka,
Uh,
shoot.
okay.
Yeah, like you guys were talking about like people being commercial. I feel like in
Yeah.
Nigeria it's because Nigerians were very simple people. It's like we only have one kind of generic kind of sound that
Yeah.
everybody likes to follow that route because it's guaranteed. If you enter and this is the type of sound you're saying, let's say you enter, but like we have people that if you know, do you know Obongjaya?
I know
Yeah.
Obuja, yeah.
He
I
was
think,
lovely.
honestly, bro, I think like one of the like for me, for this commercial ish topic, one artist
Yeah.
that I mean it worked out for him successfully, right? But I
Mm-hmm.
feel like sometimes if I'm to sit down with him and actually like have a legit conversation with him, I'll ask him like if he actually enjoys the art he's doing, right? Like Rema, like bro, when before Rema was, the Rema that everybody knew. Like I was the
Mm-hmm.
Rema fan when Rema was doing freestyle. Like I love that guy, man. Like trap. Like I
Yeah.
didn't like I wasn't even a trap person, right? But like listen to Rema do trap, like his freestyle album,
Like emo trap.
his
Yeah.
freestyle EP for me is still the best thing. It's still the best kind of. It's the best that Rema has done, personally speaking, right? And I felt like by the time he understood the Nigerian market and Don Jazzy worked on him where Baba Don spits to Nigerians what Nigerians want to hear. Very nice.
I would say on that note, but I would say like I've seen like some back or like behind the curtain of the industry small. I would say what you're saying is very true, but I won't say it's like he's trying to sell out to be commercial. I would say you have to adapt to the music industry in this Nigeria. For example, he's not the
Well,
only person. No. He's not the only
when you
person.
finish, go on.
He's not the only person. I'll give you another. There's this person that Sintoka brought up recently. Oh my god. Shad.
Kata, what is it?
Oh yeah, that dude. We have that dude. We have this guy called Alpha P. That guy was in the same group with Rema. Well, if you realize, but when these guys started, when they were still a group and they were still like independent and stuff, they were still doing more of trap. But becoming commercial, signing with a label, you have to deliver hits and stuff. And that could be very that could tell a lot of on you. It can apply some more pressure on you that you have to deliver something. And in the Nigerian music industry, what is carrying people the most? It is Afro beats. So you therefore have to like adapt to them, but not also lose yourself. Because some people, I won't lie, some people are when they try and adapt to the Afro beat, they totally forget about what they were doing before. I understand Musa's point a lot about Rema not trapping as used to be or not doing things as used to be though. But he's still to a way he's still sticking to his roots, but he's still making kind of like good music, good Afrobeat music. Although this is his last album, I know Musa is not really a fan of all his sexual stuff like that, but his album was still fire. And there was still one track that he still try to like at least trap and deliver that kind of thing. I would just say in it's not so easy for them, honestly. I know. I even there's this artist. I think Victoni. Victoni is popping now in Afrobeat, but if you check his old stuff, the guy raps like he spits hard, like he does all those bars things like Jay-Z and stuff. But like you have to adapt to music industry. Not that he's a seller, but he adapted to a way that he can make good Afrobeat music and also make good rap music, that kind of thing.
Yeah, like
That's
I
what
have
I
nothing
feel.
against like bro, I'm like,
Can I say so?
okay, Zuji
I
talk.
I talk.
Okay, the truth is there's a lot that happens, like you said, behind the curtain in music industry. I've
Yeah.
I've been a producer for more than 5 to 7 years,
Wow,
and then I
celebrate
left
grace,
it.
celebrate grace.
Uh, so like it's like a normal thing. Half of the guys just do music, that kind of thing now. So
Yeah.
I've had people come.
Zuji, you say about the guys
Yeah,
who do music.
it's, How just guys do music now?
Oh man.
So
And I only
you don't know.
wait, calm down. And now only Emma
Today,
you
like
sabi about. Emma and his bros.
Nah.
almost the thing be see, but that's what I want to talk about be that. That's what I want to talk about. You know, so there's a lot that happen behind the scene. You know, like you have to they're working on your own personality, your kind of song, and then getting into the music industry. There's a lot because there are people who are into the commercial business. They want to also make their money. The record labels want to also make money because they use money to actually promote you. So they will check for the trend. They check for the
Yeah.
trend and then decide to fit you inside the trend. So that's when branding even comes in. Some of these guys you see, the reason why they dress the way they dress is because they tell them your kind of music have to follow such kind of trend. So even the guys, some of them you see them in their music video. If you see them normal, they don't dress the way they dress. They just fit in into the music video or when they go to perform on stage or there's a tour. People hardly even do tour in Nigeria. That's another thing, sir. When you see that a musician is taking tour around Nigeria, how many
You
people take
guys,
tour?
the place is
Yeah,
not secure. It's not secure.
you understand that kind of thing. Yeah, okay, it's
All
not
right.
skilled
So,
actually, but that's so the thing is when you talk about adaptability, it's okay to adapt, but there's this thing about yourself, your real thing. If you're
Yeah.
into soul music, let people know there's this soul music thing. If you're into rap, so it's like when the commercial thing became so prominent, some other thing rappers just died off the ground. We never heard about it again. Where's Nito C? Where's Vector? These guys that
Bro, need
you
to
could hear
see.
punchlines.
Ah,
Those guys, all guys that so it's like commercial just came and quench their fire. What? For those who actually like rap, pop rap.
okay. So,
Ice Prince later on had to switch to commercial. We're enjoying this. There's somebody I like so much. I mean, I'm into gospel dosha, but I used to like because I like deep writing. This guy that was in Chocolate City that had issues with Jesse Jackson and left. The guy that sang that around there,
oh,
Um,
Rhymo.
Bremo.
Rhymo, the way that guy used to write, he's writing. If you what's the name of that his album? One funny name like that, forgotten the name. But
This one that was he
the
was
whole of
sitting
that
down,
album
he
is
was sitting down under a bridge like with pants on piano.
yeah, I was half naked, but
Yeah, yeah.
but that guy is check his lyrics very, very, very,
But the guy
very
is deep.
poetic.
The guy
Some
is
things he's saying, sir, very deep. There are some things he's even talking about the Nigerian government. You're not even inside of it. So that's what I have to just say. But the adaptability has actually shaped a thing to somehow. So if you don't sing commercial or you don't go the commercial way, there's no money or there's no house in Lekki for you. That kind of thing.
okay. So let me just wait. This one nobody's responding. Am I talking to myself?
we dey hear you,
Nah,
boss.
No,
I'm here.
can hear you.
All right. So yeah, I feel that um, music. First of all, people need to understand that music is an art, and one thing about any artistic venture is that it should show forth the artist. Art is a form of expression. People who sing, people who play instruments, people who even write plays and all those things that are poems and all of that. For example, I said, for example, if you see something written by Shakespeare, like you don't really need to think too much. Like you just know that this is Shakespeare's writing. From when you see one or two words, shall I be, thou, doest, and I feel that is the beauty of art. What this whole branding, or what's the other word you guys use, what it has done to music is people is no longer personal. Music is no longer intentional.
Yes,
The
yeah.
mistake people make, the mistake people make about art is, well, yes, while you're communicating with the audience, art is primarily about the artist, not necessarily those that are listening to them. If you focus on people that are listening to you, you will lose. How do I put it now? You will lose everything. one of the things that made for Musa, I'm citing this example from FA now. I don't know if you remember Grace, the twin, that her twin sister was dark, and Mika and the rest of that. I don't know if you guys can remember Grace. But one of the things that made Grace to stand out was because her style of singing was far different from. Do you know if FA girls had a style of singing, and her own was
Guy,
different.
I side with you with that.
You see, and it didn't stop her from shining. It didn't stop her from having the opportunity to do her thing. And even in my own little way, I feel that because when I came, the kind of keyboard guys were playing was really not my style.
No,
And when I came, I tried,
the such you play keyboard was mad. Like the
and I tried.
such you add Ben 10 to praise. Are you kidding me?
I agree. Right? And not just in FA, like anywhere I go, that opportunity to play. Well, if you try to play like other people, or you try to do your music like other people, trust me, you see, there's this thing that they say that if you try to copy somebody, the highest thing you can ever be is a second edition. Like you can never be the main thing, and that's what's happening now. There's Amapiano. Everybody is trying to do something that revolves around Amapiano. For me, I feel that if I'm a musician or I'm an artist, and there's a popping style of music, I can hop on it for a minute. Just do something. Let's see how it goes, and then let that track sell. But that should not allow me lose my identity. I don't know how many of us watch this show. This show that the Banj, Simi, and that other guy hosted. Forgotten the name. Got is
Nigerian Got Talent.
What's the name of this show?
Nigerian Idol.
Project Fame.
What?
Nigerian Idol now. Nigerian Idol.
It's Got Talent now.
No, it's not good. There's a particular name they call it. I forgot.
The Voice.
Not The Voice.
No, The Voice has Waji and
Paul. Not The Voice. This one I've forgotten the name.
The one that the band. That's Nigerian Idol now.
Yeah, when he started saying that my shoe shine, face white and teeth white and all those things, right? So if you listen to what Simi said that when she got into the music industry, there was a lot of pressure.
Welcome, Malukum.
Thank you.
Hey, Abziba. Hey, Kenneth.
All right. So what I was saying is when Simi made mention of the fact that she struggled at the beginning of her career, and that was because, like, in fact, let me tell you, the major reason why I listen to Simi now is honestly because she does not sound like anybody, and that's just the truth.
Word.
One of the when I want to listen to Simi, I just want to hear something different, because the whole space is saturated with the same style of music, and it's not even healthy for anybody, and it's not healthy for the people that are producing. Because when Judah was speaking, he said something about like your music being immortal. And one of the things about immortal music is that it has to be peculiar. Do you understand? If people have to hear it and be like, what is this? But if your music sounds like every other person, in the next 20 years, nobody's looking for that kind of. Everybody, if you're looking for Amapiano, you have a lot of options. And then that's how people fade into oblivion. All those Olamide now, I don't know where they are. They have moved on to bringing people up because they can no longer keep up with it. Why? Because they lost their identity. Even Don Jazzy has been able to manage the situation well. I feel that he's very intelligent because he also has a unique style of music. If you listen to that
very unique style too, no.
That if you listen to that song that he did, that My Friend that he did with that guy, Johnny Drill, you can hear his own unique. Like when he hopped on, when he started singing, you can hear it. Like you can hear Don Jazzy. You get, and that is what music, and not just music, every other art should be all about. It should be all about expression. You can't express yourself if you are focusing on the person you're expressing yourself to. Like it is you that knows how he's doing you. Right, and I feel that that's if there's something our Nigerian artists should pay attention to, they should pay attention to getting back to who exactly they are. It's okay to hop on the latest beats, trending beat at okay, let's just give it a try, drop an album, drop an EP with it, and then let everybody see how well you can cope with it, and then go back to where you're coming from. Honestly, there's this thing that they
Honestly,
said. Yeah.
yeah, I think like honestly, yeah, we they hammer artists here, but come to think about it, right? Like artists, yeah, on their side, they should focus on creating their art. I get that, but then isn't it more a question of the consumer, right? Like, why do we consume the kind of content we're consuming in Nigeria? Like,
That's a very good question.
why does Amapiano entice us? Why does Afrobeat
See,
like entice
Musa,
us?
let me tell you
Why would
something.
Afrobeat always sell more than auto music?
One thing about art is that everybody, there's how do I put it now? There's a listener for every kind of music.
That's what I'm saying
Your
now. But like
your
for our
audience,
own,
Musa, your audience cannot be everybody. Do you get? And if you keep that in mind, it will change the way you do things. Like your audience cannot be everybody. So can you just be authentic for your audience? And there's some people that want to hear you do your trap.
Now, who say
You're
no, that
denying them
but
that.
that's not the question now,
no, so cheap, but like yeah, kind
Do you get
of.
what I'm saying? You're denying you're denying your audience
Bro, and I'm not
the
doubting that too.
the opportunity to. Okay, so what are you saying?
I'm saying like from the like consumer perspective, like us that listen to the music now, yeah. I'm saying like if, for example, if guys have to, for example, as Zumji said in Just right, guys are just trying to fit in and brand themselves into Afrobeat or brand themselves into a particular thing, right? So like my question is like, what is it about like Afrobeat or Amapiano, like the popular things like right now? What is it about it that actually makes us draw close to it? As per like what? Okay, let me reframe it this way. What is it about Nigerians that makes them not listen to people like Simi? That makes them not listen to people that creating their own kind of alternative art? Like, what is it about us that we don't like all these people that express themselves fully about?
Okay, so let me just say this before I let Zumji speak. Just something very small. I think even Nigerians themselves, we are not authentic.
Can I say something?
The average, Zumji, just give me a minute. The average Nigerian is not authentic. Do you get? I know people that listen to this guy. What's this? What's this guy? Asake. They don't know anything. They don't just know, and they just listen because with the vibe, they want to, when they are having conversations. I mean, I used to be like that one time. I used to listen to people so that when I'm gisting with other guys, like, and they bring up the song, I can have what to say. That is the problem. There's also a problem with the market. Do you understand? People just listen to stuff because, well, you want to go to party, you want to listen to something that you can dance to, and you want to listen to something that other guys too can sing, and everybody's just getting lost. Nobody has their own identity. Even if it transcends beyond music, but then I'm just trying to limit myself to music, right? It transcends beyond that. We ourselves, we the market, we the consumers, we are not authentic. Nobody has taken their time to find out what kind of music does my soul crave for. Nobody asks themselves that question. You just hear it, and then you see that 2-3 people is popping on Apple Music, and you don't want to be left behind. You don't want to be left behind, and then you're in a party and they're singing a song and you don't know. So you quickly listen to it, whether you know what they're saying. For me, this Asake guy, like I only like 2 or 3 of his songs. And out of those 3 of them, the first one is the one that he did with this guy.
Lamde.
Fireboy. That one in the album, that bandana, that song is mad. Yeah, that song is mad. And then this organized, I don't know, I like the beginning. I don't really understand what it gets to towards the end, but like the beginning is really nice. And then this song, Asala Malaiku, I guess many disciples, that song is beautiful. Apart from that, if you check my playlist, you won't see, because I don't really get like, what is this guy about? His music doesn't resonate with me. But a lot of people in the market don't think that way. They just see the guy. Some people just download the album, and whether they're enjoying it or not, maybe because of people they are carrying in their car, they want everybody. I mean, it's not. I don't know. The market has a problem. So, but what the producers need to do now is to go back. Except you are too focused on profit. If you're focused on profit, if you're focused on being out there, popularity, and all those things, I don't think Simi is the poorest musician. I don't think her music is doing badly, right? Her music is also doing well, and she's as authentic as can be. Same thing with
But
Foul.
There's
yeah,
a louder. There's a
but
louder.
the thing you should notice here is like the difference between
Okay.
these people that you are calling now, and the other people that are trying to come up is that some people enter music for different reasons. There are people who have families to feed, or like they see this is
Yes.
their
Exactly.
main work.
That's why I said,
This is what,
Emeka, that's why I said for
Please,
profit. Except you are
yeah,
doing it for the profit. But if
yeah.
you really want to do music as
I
an
don't
let
know.
me
I
artist,
don't
see what
understand.
please,
I
you
don't.
before
need
I
to
Let
make
me. I
forget.
don't
music
understand that whole
you are.
profit thing. I don't get that. See, let me tell you something, but like, if you're making music, if you're doing music as a career, this is what you want to do. There's obviously the whole self. I'm making music for myself. I want to make music that resonates with people. I want to make music that stands the test of time. But we must understand this, like the world has evolved, but to a point that there's also a market side of music. When we did that podcast with worship, that what podcast and worship makes very sick ass music. Like his music is way, way different. But the guy told us about a side of music that is business side. So like you can't blame, I don't know, you can't just say like someone should just do one music that is really for his what do you call it?
Yeah,
For his
Judah, I actually said that. I said
Okay,
except you are doing it for the
let me
profit.
see.
If you are
Now,
doing
but
it
you
for the
can't say
profit, then you
except
pay
everybody's doing
attention.
music now for himself and also trying to market it in a way that is profitable for
I
himself
beg, I
to
beg.
feed his
That's the
pocket.
thing, yeah, because
Let's zoom
you
to
don't
talk. Let's
just
zoom to
want to
Emeka
do
talk.
music. You don't just want to do
See,
music, yeah, because you want to do music. Obviously, everybody comes with their own.
Hmm.
Like the thing is, it's like me now. I can come with a whole disruptive style of music and everything,
Yeah.
and it can take people years to even catch up. But that's when you also have to hop on trends. You also have to do what everybody's doing to begin to build that audience. And when you have that audience
Yeah.
enough, you can now be able to go back to that you've been trying to do. Because it's like, imagine somebody that comes now and starts doing, okay, I'm going to rap for 4 minutes, and then I'm going to rap for 4 minutes, and then the last 20 seconds is when the beat will start. It's like obviously now, like nobody's going to start listening to that kind of music. But it's like imagine if somebody with an already existing audience does it. It's like okay, it's like the way now Mr. Easy, he became a very big musician and then he now started doing business and we followed him there because he has built himself up. It's only
Yeah.
people that are that well established that can say they want to do the style that they've always wanted to do. It's not something you can always hop in with. You need to build up. Like, does that make any sense to any of you?
Well, I
okay,
don't completely
can I
agree
say
with
something?
them. So let's allow Zumji speak.
Okay, okay. You know, we said something about culture. You know, Afrobeat also comes is also part of our culture. But that's why you can't find it just anywhere. That's why because of the way Afrobeat went into them, we now had to go. We now have what we have. Say Afro hip hop. You know, that's when they now coined that one from. So
Yeah.
the reason why it's also trending is because most check the way Igbos do their music, Yorubas, Hausas, there's this kind of beat that follows it, you know, talking drum or something like that. So that thing also affected the way people does it. We are talking about the consumers. So they tend to follow it. They tend to follow it. Then secondly again, let me not lie to you. There's a lot. Music is really capital intensive. You know, when I was a producer in Just, I could see guys then that will come to me and say they want to produce one song for 5K, 10K. And I'll look at them and say, 5K, 10K, what? I'll waste my whole time and sit down in this studio and they are begging you. So one of the days I just said, let me hear this guy out. So he entered the recording booth and I played something. If you hear talent, this guy was, I was like, okay, okay, I can help this guy and just do his thing for him. Maybe the 5K and 10K like this, but how far can this guy go? Okay, even if I want to help this guy to go very far, capital to help him go far because Nemeka was talking about building and talents. You understand? I could remember Adele. He said that her song Hello took how many years for her to write? I can't remember, but it took years. It took time. John Legend, before he writes his songs, it takes time. How many Nigerian musicians take time, go through it, go through the symphony, call the music producers? You know, Nigeria is only Nigeria. You have one music producer doing like 5 different things at the same time. But if you study how Rihanna produced Diamond, it was a different person that came and did the mixing. Was somebody one of the best producers in the world, Phil Kanabi was his name, one Asian guy like that. So there's somebody in charge of the production. There are people in charge of backup. There are people in charge of just singing. Somebody they will transport somebody from far from another country to come and play guitar, just harmony line of guitar. But do we have that time? Us, we'll sit down on the keyboard. One producer will do everything, dingling, 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 like that, and beats don't cook.
I'm seeing producers that can play on the instrument. I'm like, what's going on?
Beats don't cook. But those I'm telling you, when I study this, go and just maybe you check it on YouTube. Rihanna's Diamond. That song Diamond. They had to go and bring somebody, guys that will play certain instrument. Like those ones, that's what they do. Then the producer himself and the person who did the mastering, because there's difference between producer and the audio mix engineer, and then the mastering again. The guy that did it, he had to go through the song all over and all over. I was just going through this and I said, these guys really take time. We now like this, within 2 days, song don't cook. They arrange and mix and wear, master the thing. Don't push on. We do one fine album art. Begin the push the thing. So we don't really take time. That's another thing. But the truth is the Nigerian music industry is doing very, very well. To an extent, because we have guys who are coming up with more talents. So that's what I just want to say. Our culture is also affecting us the way we synchronize with music. Thank you.
Sorry, what do you before somebody like speaks, like I beg, what actually is the Nigerian culture? Like, because when you're talking about the different things, for example, if I listen to Flavor and Fino, like I don't understand Igbo, but I love Fino so much. Like I like listening to. I don't understand what he's saying, no, but like I feel like he's making sense. His rap, I feel like he's making sense, right? But like I will listen to Fino, right? Sing. And I'll listen to Davido, for example, right? Or Olamide. Olamide is like a good representation of like punk Yoruba music. I'll listen to Olamide, I'll listen to Fino. They are not, it's not giving anything similar, like at all. Like two very different kinds of people, right? Then I don't know if you want to go to the north, MI. If you listen to MI, right? But MI is a rapper anyways. But like it's so different at the same time, right? So even the Afrobeats, I'm like, where did he actually when we say Nigerian culture, when we say Afrobeat, like whose is it exactly? Because I don't see anybody that can pin.
It's actually for Yoruba people.
It's Yoruba people. Yes, it's Yoruba.
It's Fela Koni from Ogun State. You could say Fela started Afrobeat, but it has transcended into something bigger and more. Like I won't say that Flavor, or I don't know. I won't say he's doing Afrobeat, but he's doing something that is sweet to the Igbo ears. Do you get?
Flavor is conk Igbo music, like
it's sweet to the Igbo ears, and also people also like his kind of music. Same thing with Olamide. There's a way everybody listens to Olamide music, but it is majorly listened to in the West. It's them that will now know it word for word because they are Yoruba, that kind of thing. Like when he was starting those street music, like he's one that was street Olamide, that kind of thing. Same thing with Fino now. Fino makes songs. And like I would say they have this kind of rhythm to it that Igbo people can like listen to at wedding, that kind of thing. You can't really play an Olamide song at a wedding now. No, not all. Well,
you can't know. I mean, things like
I think this is what brings what I earlier said to perspective. Like everybody has their own listener. I remember our pastor was teaching, and I said that when he was growing up, his mom, there were 6 of them doing textile work, and everybody has their own customer. Everybody was thriving. It's the same way. Like I don't see Fino trying to do some Yoruba stuff now because he wants to meet with the trend. No, and he's still selling. He's still, people that will listen to him will still listen to him. Same thing with Flavor. It's the same thing with any of the other musicians. Like this Zigima guy, this man now, this Okoro Junior guy that said is the
Bright guy.
the founder of Sigma. He up to a lot of people don't know about him, but the people that listen to him still listen to him. He still has like over 5,000, I think over 10,000, or even maybe his followers are in the hundreds on Instagram. And people relate with his stuff. Do you get? And I feel that is what makes music beautiful. I get perfectly well that everybody's trying to make a living. I get that you have families to feed, and that is okay, right? But if you want to do music as an art, if you want to do music as a business, then okay, yes, focus on your family by all means and make sure that everybody's comfortable. But if we are looking at music as an art, please, it is something that is peculiar to you. And there's this thing that we say, deep calls onto deep, right? Like people will, your audience will get to you. Those that are meant to listen to you, those that will enjoy your song, will enjoy your songs. Like you have your own audience, like someone like Jidena now. I love Jidena. And like if you check my phone now, even like the latest playlist I made, I had to go back and bring off some of his old songs, the Bambis, a little bit more, and the rest of them, and I just put them in a playlist. And when I'm driving, I just listen to it because I just love his style, right? And if the guy did not do that and he was trying to try to meet up with the other styles of music, then I don't know how it will have denied me the opportunity to enjoy what he truly has to offer, because there's something that is deposited in each person that other people are meant to feed off of. But if you decide not to pay attention to it, then you want to see, you want to follow the trend. Like, see, Judah, you said something about music that is immortal. Trust me, any music that is not unique cannot be immortal. If you look at songs that we listen today that we refer to and we still enjoy from the past, those music were coined from a place of, they were deliberate about it. It was about them. Some of them were telling their stories. Some of them were,
Yes.
but if you just jump upon any stuff, you will sell, right? But we're talking about posterity now. What does it 20 years from now have to say about your song? I recently, most of these TikTok songs that I see, if you follow it well, most of them are quite old songs. In fact, most of them are from 2017. You get, and they are coming up now. Nobody really heard them that time, but because they were unique, you understand? We can pick them now.
Yeah,
and that's one thing about
because
music and also
unique words.
I know go talk that one. No,
I'm not
I don't
talking
agree.
about. I'm not talking
that
about
TikTok
random
guys.
I don't agree.
That TikTok used to make some unnecessary artists blue.
No, relax. See, there's something about
TikTok
TikTok.
was made for
TikTok,
CK, my G.
your TikTok
For CK.
is. I'm not. And for me, like some of the songs that I've met from TikTok songs, like there's this song, I still made you look or something like that. That song is a classic. I really don't. There's also another one that I found recently, and there are some of them that like some of the songs that I see on Twitter. I'm not talking about the regular the challenges and the rest of them that people are just hopping off from studios and all that. I'm talking about when they start bringing up like old songs. There was a time that this guy's song, what's his name? This guy that sang with Monkeys one time. No, Bruno Mars. This is song. I've forgotten. There's time his song was trending on TikTok. For example, and like there's some time that songs from the past just come up, to the present from 5 years, 10 years ago, and it's because those songs were unique. You get? So we need to strike a balance. If you're doing music as a business, by all means, hop onto whatever everybody's doing and make your money. But if you want your music to truly stand out as an art, truly stand the test of time, truly transcend from generation to generation, it cannot be what every other person is producing.
Oh, yeah, I feel you, man.
I remember Asha, when Asha came with her own, her kind of music looked somehow, but a lot of people really enjoyed it. That remember, there is fire on the mountain. I'm a prisoner.
Those are classic. Even today,
those songs doesn't play. I say but they are really soul, driving, soul touching. She was actually writing well.
Yeah, she writes very well, and she made really classical music. But what do you guys think is okay? What would you guys see is a major problem of Nigerian industry, and like a way we could like solve it?
Yeah, can I go first?
Yeah, go first.
Okay, I think one of our major we need to be consistent. When I talk about consistency, um, consistent in the kind of artists we produce, because you know it's like everybody's just jumping into the music industry now because there's money in it, there's
There's money.
showmanship, um, there's
Yeah.
money actually in music. That's the truth. What back in the even if back it's money, but everybody's just jumping in it. But we need to go back to see what are the criteria we use to pick talent. And then you remember Musa was talking about something, and most of the songs are just talking about moves, as how they spend money. We need to go what are we feeding the consumers? What's the music industry permitting to feed the consumers? Are we just talking about as a money, ladies? Because the thing is that it has a lot to play in the mindset of the consumers. Every young guy now, like I was saying, when you go to just every young guy wants to blow on hammer, and it's because these are the songs he's listening to. He's watching the videos. He's seeing guys with Lamborghini things. So him too, he want hammer, he want blue. You
Yeah.
understand? So
Yes,
we
now
need to
is that
check.
not how this
We need to check.
smoking pandemic came about? Everybody is doing music video with pot and all of that.
You
Before
know,
you know it,
so
everybody
it's
wants to be an engine.
yeah,
This guy, you
you
say
understand. So the thing is that the truth is we have talent in Nigeria. I won't lie, and there are people, their talents have not even been scratched. As in,
Alright.
he showed me a video of one young guy. I was in Adamawa where you know the way Fino used to rap. His own is in Hausa. The guy raps as in in Hausa. Like I say but he's just in one place under one tree. Nobody understand. So we need what criteria is the music industry used to pick talent, and then how are they training these people to groom them and then to push them into the the face of the world, and what are they giving people?
So there should be
Like
more of
like
it.
um
Okay.
music actually feeds the soul. So what are they actually feeding people? So it's something that the music industry must look into. If it's money, we know that the music industry has contributed even to the economy of Nigeria big time. If the music industry of Nigeria crumbles now, Nigeria, Oga, many people go move because it's helping to stabilize the economy. So concerning that one,
Mhm.
but we need to check how we bring in those guys.
Yeah, I feel. Emeka, do you have anything to say?
Okay. The what I feel the problem is the exploitative nature of the industry. Like I was saying earlier,
Yeah.
creatives are not adequately protected in the industry, and there is lack of generalized awareness about the most fundamental part of the music industry, which is intellectual property. Now, a lot of artists, they sit down with their producers, the producer gives them a beat, they hop on the
Yeah.
beat, they write the song, and they just post it. And then, let's say it gets used by a movie or somebody is using it somewhere, and then they're like, oh, it's publicity. It's publicity,
Emeka.
but at the same time, you don't
Yeah.
get to economically benefit from. I'm not even aware of stuff like the fact that you can copyright your songs, all these kind
Yeah.
of. I feel like that's the in a way that this can be solved. So in Nigeria, there's somewhat a turning, and people are creatives can better benefit from their work.
Yeah, I feel.
Oh,
I understood. Although your stuff was breaking, but I really understand like what you're saying, like the whole intellectual property and how people should be aware of that stuff before it's being used. Because I feel in those like the way Nesuchi said about music and making money and that kind of thing. That's the major avenue people could obviously make a lot of loot from, but they don't really know that kind of thing. So like people like America could easily educate musicians on that aspect of the music industry that people are not really aware of. Because when they use when they like use somebody's music in music, what do you call it, in a movie or anything, that stuff is so huge. I watched an episode of Atlanta recently. I think is this that was no, that was season 3. So they played I've never heard this song before. They played one tennis song called Fake Jersey, and only God knows how much you have been paid now from that kind of thing. And the song hit hard. I would say there's this thing about music that I don't know. Some songs but might not be as good as how we think it is, but if it is listened to at a particular time, it just slaps harder. I don't know if you guys see that or you've
Yeah,
like
the right time and the right person.
yeah. Is it just like hit harder that kind of thing? But yeah, Musa, what have you like? What do you think we could solve? What's the problem that we could solve?
Okay. So for me, like I feel music is a very first of all, like it's very emotional. Like it deals with your emotions. Like there are strings of your emotions that touch with what you're listening to, and that's why
Yeah.
like in a particular way. And just to go back, just to another country, like in ancient Chinese history, they used to
Mm-hmm,
classify their music like two ways. So I'm thinking Confucian, like 15th century, or I think before then, right? Kind of time. And they
yeah.
classified it like Suyue and then the Yayue. And like the Suyue was kind of like the music for rituals, like when you're sacrificing to the gods or like sorry, the
Wow,
ancestors,
God,
like family
Jesus.
relations. And then there was the Suyue, which was like the worldly music, right? And so they distinguished these two kind of music because like the Yayue was supposed to be like good for the soul, it helps you, it nurtures you, gives
Yeah.
you values, and then the Suyue, like is for rebels, kind of.
Mm.
Right. And I think in the Nigerian music industry, we have to really just come to define in a way, right? Because music has always been powerful for human nature. Like some people survive, literally, they feed on music to live, right? I think that with our generation, because we're a very emotionally needy generation, like we need to feel so badly, right?
Yeah.
Something nearly all the time, right? And like music does that to us, like pumps you up with, like I don't know, like you're sad and you need more sadness so I can cry, right? It pumps you up with enough sadness and then you start crying. Or like, I don't know, you want to run, I can't just run, right? So you gotta listen to like electro or house music and hear that boom, 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 so you can start running. Like, it pumps you up with like adrenaline so you can start running, right? So
Yeah.
like we're using music as a drug in our time right now, right? And I think that first of all, let's acknowledge it, right? That music is indeed a drug. Like it's like I don't care what side you're spiritual or like even on the spiritual aspect, like you're using it to connect deeper in a particular way, right?
Mm,
That's what you're using. So
mm.
Yeah.
it's a drug on all sides, right? So if you understand that it is a drug, but then we now start to have asking ourselves, right? Like, okay, drugs are used to cure things, right? What are we trying to cure as a society? Right. And like when we now start, with our conversation with the kind of music that is raining, like we now need to really start asking ourselves, like, with this kind of music, right? What are we trying to cure? Honestly, within ourselves, like, what kind of values are we trying to instill? What kind of things? Because people are regurgitating, like these sounds and the lyrics, even the nonsense lyrics that don't make sense. People are regurgitating in their minds, right? And like tomorrow, I don't know if
Yes,
there's like
no.
a trend of misogynistic sound. Tomorrow you see that your men are misogynistic all of a sudden, right? You now be wondering why. But like, if been there in the sound, so we also have to like notice where the music is going, because like where the music is going can give us a glimpse of like where our society as well is going.
That's
Very
that's kind of
agree.
what that's kind of what Zumji said.
Yeah.
When he like when he explained that we should be like the people, the music. Let's say the music gatekeeper should be conscious of what music is coming in, that kind of thing,
Yeah,
and it's very crucial. There.
but like for me, like this is when like I think like there needs to be connecting to Nesochi. Some people will not have, like, some people cannot make money out of Nigerian music. That's just it, honestly. Like, honestly, I think Johnny Jewel is a miracle. Like, like that Johnny Jewel survived. Honestly
As in,
speaking,
how did he survive?
like,
How did he?
how did he
With,
survive?
and he has one of the best
I,
music, so but how?
I would say two
How?
people, Asha and Johnny Drew, two of them.
No, no,
Is the
no, but
fact that Asha,
Asha is different, bro. Because
no,
why?
no, I say Asha is like him because like the
You
fact
should not
that
say
as at the
abroad.
time, no, but as at the time she started, she was singing, she sings a lot of
Yes.
Yoruba. She has never sang just English. She was singing a lot of, even when she just dropped
Okay. Okay.
Asha and Beauty Behind the Madness, that kind of, no, sorry, what that album about
Hmm.
Asha, that she was wearing glasses, that kind of thing. Like
But,
the fact that her music transcended internationally. She was the first person, I won't lie. Khan Baba that I saw on CNN as at that time that Nigerian music was becoming international, and it was not even Afro beats like that. Uh, Apart from let's say King Sunny Ade, but like the fact her music was people actually listen to this girl in Nigeria that she's singing with the guitar and singing just two of them. I'm like, wow, that's so beautiful. But like now it's so hard for people. Like I can't come out and say I'm singing with the guitar and before you know, I have to be true to myself that I know that my music might not blow as much as let's say CK or someone that is Ashake would do, because I honestly feel I have this theory that part of the reason why like all these music that is so that pumps our blood is so recognized or celebrated is because Nigerians we are trying, guy. We really do try. We're trying with the whole economy,
Yeah,
with the whole
it's a
stuff.
distraction. Like our kind of music
Is a distract exactly
it
the same
distracts
way
us.
that comedy saves from a day to day.
Exactly. Like, and I think it's
That is
correlated to also
saves
like
us, guy. What do you say?
it's correlated to like now skits is a big industry in Nigeria, like making skits.
Yeah.
Like our skits, like our comedy skits makers, right? They are bigger than our comedians. There was a time like Basket Mouth, Clean the Drunk, this kind of people where people will go and pay for them, sit down with them. But today
Yeah.
is Sabinus. Today is
But
like
like those guys are they're
lively.
making money on a daily basis now. Monetize IG, monetize
Exactly.
YouTube.
I like, for me, music is this, like, so music, like Nigerian music is a distract, like it allows us to not focus on reality.
Am I getting on here?
Those emotions, right, that I was saying, like we are connecting to, we want an emotion that is not pain, that does not remind us of suffering, right? And all of this, that does not allow us to think. And for me, right, relating to like Johnny Drew, and like why I think that Johnny Drew is a miracle that he survived. I think when so people, like individuals generally, like when we see an artist that we like and know for sure like the Nigerian market will not give him chance to survive at all, not because he's not a good artist, right, but because like he's not giving the market like what the market is demanding. I think we should take responsibility to support that artist, like and I'm saying support as per try and get to the point, even if it's like financially, like just like we should make money not a problem for the artists we like, because a lot of times, right, it's because of the money issue that they now transition to become anything. Like for example, me, if I had 10 million and at that point, like Rema with his freestyle trap music, right? If I had 10 million and I saw like Nema, and I could see the future somehow that he would transition to this Afrobeat, which is okay. I have nothing against it, honestly, right? But just because I actually enjoyed Rema freestyle, if I had 10 million, I would have given a part of the money just so Rema could not think about rent, just so Rema could not think about survival with money, just so that he can just be in his room or like in his studio and create music he enjoys creating. Like I think we need to be
comfortable enough to express himself.
Exactly. Like consumers. So as Nesoshi said, if you find the person that gets you, like your soul is connected to this kind of music, support the artist because they are trying, they are suffering, man. Especially the
But also say I will give this advice to artists. Like they should. I understand that you have made music your career and stuff, but I feel deep down they should also use some of their money and do something that will prolong or elongate their money. You understand? Whereby it's not just ton money and just music money are getting. You're also getting money from somewhere in your maybe a side business or something. There's nothing wrong with side businesses. Let's give an example now, footballers now. Like Ronaldo and Messi, obviously their salary is very good, but as they started, you can't probably say that their salary is what to sustain it to them. Like there's something called endorsements, side businesses. This guy has hotels now, Ronaldo, that kind of thing. There's this Nigerian artist called Inka Bernie. He does music, sick ass music, but he also designs.
They do business.
That kind of thing. We also design for like a top
but
tech
Judah,
company.
this thing,
But they do businesses, so artists they are into investments, so different, except for the ones.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that
driving the cars and
like artists are just starting up should not just think that it's just the music money that's good to sustain them. They should know that they should just be know that something, because like when Musa says support the artists, of course support them, but also support yourself. So,
No,
support yourself or you go
guy,
do
I think there's a pressure. There's a lifestyle pressure that like our artists have because on two sides. Because like when we hear like an artist, right, we expect you to like be making some kind of figures of naira, right, like millionaire, billionaire kind of thing.
Yeah,
So like there's a societal pressure as well. And so like that societal pressure needs you to like sustain a particular lifestyle that drains
that's
a
the
lot
problem
of
with
money
fame.
at the end of the day, right? But I think that almost see
Wait,
just
wait till you go to Lagos and come back first. Come back to your home. When everybody comes to visit you, hey, everybody is expecting something. No?
no, but they need to be tactical, man. Like they need to be
Just small,
strategic
you travel, go
to
Lagos.
escape that lifestyle. Like that lifestyle is not healthy at all. Like going to club every Friday and spending like 1 million. Are you mad?
You know,
Like what are you doing?
is the pressure of fame now. You know, the same thing now. Let's say you are seeing a pastor preaching on the altar. He preaches to you. In your mind, you just feel this man has everything on lock. But you don't know that this man is also finding it very hard to pay for his students' school fees. But if he says,
Yes.
if he says to a member, I'm trying to look for money to pay for myself, like, but you are preaching about prosperity. How you look for money, that kind of thing.
Forget.
Like
We are living
that's the problem
witness.
at his face. The problem is some people have pride. Let me, for example, Lagos is very small now. So some of my guys have like Lagos is very small. So in terms of stories now, one of my guys was telling me that
Yeah,
as at
Abuja
the
is
time that
smaller. But anyways.
well, like both places are small, but as at the time Oxlade, let's say Oxlade was blowing or that kind of thing. If he has store, so if he has a place to perform, as of that 2018 time, my guy will fly back. my, guy- my guy go fly back to go and get paid. Like we have to learn to do the bare minimum to
Oxley,
get like
Okada.
eh?
He mean the right Okada.
Guy, if he has like I might as of what my guy told me, because I would say he's in behind the industry, that kind of he's in the industry. So like Oxley go fly bike if he has to go and perform something. And so someone that's a very good even that's a very good come up story. But people will not do that. So you know that you're a struggling artist, you know how much you're making a month, or in fact a week, or more you go bolt everywhere, finish all your money. Why? When like the
Is
other
it
people
just
can
both? Some people rent limousine.
rent
The rent is an
rent
open
a
roof now.
car, that kind of thing. Like I feel artists should learn that being relatable to us also makes us closer to your music. Like if I see, imagine and I see Rema and Keke, I'm like, Jesus, Rema, Rema is the Keke. You said you won't feel pressure to go and ride Keke at that point, because you feel like if Rema can ride Keke, I can ride Keke. That
Keke
kind of thing.
guys, I will hide their money.
Exactly. I just feel the more the relatable, they need to learn that um the price of fame doesn't just constitute your pride alone. Like if you humble yourself and be relatable to us, guy, well, like that used to makes the audience closer to your music when we are seeing things that we do that you are doing. Like, guy, so this person is like me. That means I can also become great, or I can do what he does. That it just gives a sense of morale. You know what I'm saying?
Can I
That's
say something? Add something.
yeah.
I feel that coming up artists they should take time and build themselves. Take time. Build yourself to the point that the day you now come out, let's say the day the sun decides to shine on you, or the spotlight is on you, people will know that this one didn't just come. Yes, he has been in the streets. Maybe there's a story behind your glory, but this guy took time to build himself. So let them take time to
Yes.
also build them. Like I told you from my experience, guys who come out. One guy told me one day in the studio, he said inspiration, no, they come. Yeah, they come. Now he brought out one hot like that, short something. I said, can I say we don't alcohol is not allowed in this studio? I said, I'm coming. He went out, drank something, came out. Came out, said, move blue. He entered the recording booth. He was just talking in there. I was just looking at the guy laughing. I say move flow. He just started shouting on the record. Just shouting. Yahoo no ni. Yahoo no. I see Oga Uchambi. He was just shouting. So he felt that thing was inspiration. I know that's what a lot of them do. take feed, take something to hide themselves. But
That's
if you
the,
take
that's a whole different
your time
topic.
and build yourself,
We're doing
you can just flow with it.
drugs
That's
and
people
music.
build talent, you understand? So they should really take time to build themselves, content, write. There's a way you can express yourself. Not you must not be shouting the money and the cars. There are other
Yeah.
things.
What music genre do you guys think we should listen to more? Or you want to hear more of music in Nigerian industry? What songs would you like to hear more of in Nigerian industry?
Okay, guy, I think like within the alt community, yeah, like
Yeah.
it's too broad. Like the problem is that the Nigerian genre is too close. Like it's just Afrobeats. Thames is alternative. Worship is alternative. Like even within the alternatives, there are different kind of alternatives, right? Like we need to be able to define niche properly. I mean, people that listen to them, right? Like they
I would say Thames can make alternative and also make R&B. She does that. We know where she lies.
she's in between, or like when she started, like the first album, I would say that as his first album, like her first singles,
Mr. Rebel,
like for me it was alternate. It's now that for me she's becoming more R&B, but early on
R&B, right?
she was alt, right? So I think like let's just separate the. For me, let's focus on alternatives first because that's where like a lot of potential is, and then let's
A
divide
lot
them.
of creatives as a maker says.
Yeah.
Those guys are creative, I can't lie, man. There's this cover Santi did recently of an old song. Let me try and look for it. It's something or Wasu. I've forgotten the name of this. Let me look for it now. Santi. I think I recently browsed it.
Wait, cool Santino. Santi.
Yeah, Crow Santino.
Oh.
I'm messing up his name, sir. So he made a cover of and like all these old songs we say now. Shit, what am I doing? So I'm looking for the song. Yeah, the name of the song is Omoge Waju. You know that old song?
Now Zunji go sabi that one.
He made like a singles cover. Yeah, it's absolutely fire. I would say those OT people are well, like they're extremely creative people. No, I would say no, they are so creative. I won't say no. Why they are so creative is because they have liberty to do what they want to do. But I will often appreciate them more of their creativity more than mainstream artists because mainstream artists, but even as you are as big as Bonner, as big as Rema, as big as Davido, there are some songs, but you want to still streamline to your audience that your audience eats. But if you now do something that you want to do, but you are not really confident of the fact that um this is your sound or people will, like mistake you for someone else. You know how to do it, but all those guys they have there's this my guy says something that creativity is a high risk, high is a high luxury, is a high risk bargain. So those people they have like lower risks to take. They can dare a lot like creatives in the author space than the mainstream ones because they can make so many songs in a day and each one is sounding like a totally different human being, but they are happy with themselves. I really appreciate the fact that they really do have so much contentment and joy with their music they make.
But
I really give kudos to them,
I
Captain.
think like if you get yeah, if you are a anyways, I think we should do like before we end 1 minute silence for Davido. But like if you get to a Davido point of view and
Yeah, and take off.
a point of view, right? Look at Beyonce's album. I don't understand. Like what happened? Like I don't get it at all. Like her new album that she
The
released.
Renaissance,
Bro, the
the
Renaissance. I'm like,
Renaissance one.
hey baby girl, what's up now? I
You know,
don't
that's the thing. That's what I'm trying to say now. For example, that's literally the example I'm trying to make. Someone as big as that, as high as that, she makes good music, but you could say she's a creative, but the people that are now, let's say, upcoming, they can make whatever they want to make and to still slap because someone is just finding them and finding new sound. But she that she has had a main sound. She sang Halo, she sang EXO, she sang Sorry. She now comes and starts singing You will get my love. Start singing club songs. Everyone was like, "What is happening here?" Even Drake's last album, that honestly never mind. You know, normally Drake would just sing rap in his album, but this one, while hearing this guy sound like Swedish House Mafia, I'm like, what is happening? Is DJ Smokers that produced your album? What's happening? That kind of thing, like people, that album now is good, but people, the audience will not give it its it's what they call it. It's his audience will not give him his flowers that he dared to do something different. But if he's a smaller person, say guy, that guy they do everything. Do you understand?
Yeah. I was hearing a Suchi first.
All right. So before I, attempt, let me just say that one of the problems that Nigerian music is having now is authenticity. And Emeka is not here. I'll have like, you know, dragged him on when he said that, he's talking about what's it called? Intellectual property and the rest of them. If you really probe Nigerian sounds, eh, only one of those, like all these Amapiano and the rest of them, they just pick what somebody has done before and add one or two beats and drop like that, like that, like that. So you can't even drag for intellectual property when your property is not your intellectual property. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So it's a big problem for them, and I feel that it should be addressed also because different musicians have different listeners and all of that. So to answer the question, I won't advertise any particular music space because I'm a strong believer of the fact that everybody has their own music. And in fact, as far as I'm concerned, that's one of the problems that we're having too. Like everybody's saying, which music is popping? What should I be listening to? Well, like if you're using Apple Music or you're using Audio Mac or Boomplay or whatever streaming platform you're using, like you have limitless possibilities. Why limit yourself to what some people are saying is good? Why don't you find out what speaks to you? Like this thing that they always say that one man's food might be another man's poison. It's not really about food and poison. That quote is just about life. Like what somebody else likes may not be what you like. But because somebody has said is good, you will be forcing yourself to hear. Uh-huh. So you'll be forcing yourself to hear the good. Straining your ears to hear what. Imagine Musa recommending a song to me and say, "Guy, this song is mad. Listen to this guy. Listen to Asake." And I'm listening to his albums and like I'm really struggling to pick one or two things that is really good for me. And if I won't do that to anybody, right? Everybody should have the liberty to find out what music works for them. My playlist. My sister, anytime she's in the car when I'm driving, she's like, "You have dropped another playlist, so I send it to me." Most of those songs, you don't see them everywhere. Like I go to the nook and crannies of music, like all those places where people don't. In fact, I have one of the major streaming platforms I listen to, or I listen to my music from is SoundCloud because there's so much untapped talent there. So much
Yeah, very
untapped
true.
talent. Some people that have abandoned their career, you hear some songs that are like, God, musicians did. You understand? Those things, you see, someone was telling me that, and that he cannot use audio mark. That what am I still? I remember I was playing a song for somebody on SoundCloud, and the guy was like, "Oh boy, you still use this app?" And like 2 minutes later or 3 minutes later, the guy started, singing along. So I won't do that to anybody to limit your scope of music and say this is what you should listen to. I believe that music, like all other arts, is an adventure. Find what works for you and please relate to yourself, relate to your musicians, relate to people around you based on what works for you.
This drop mic
I
loud.
drop my I that's true, man. Honestly, I feel I've said a lot. I've made so much sense. I really wish we were more though. Like the girls, I wanted to like hear the girls' perspective. Cause guys, I won't lie, not to sound biased, but we listen to majority of guys listen to like certain type of music. While girls listen to it, totally different type of music. I like love to like hear what they have to say about the Nigerian music industry. But we shall go like a lot more from a lot of dialogues we made today or a lot of talks. and perspectives we shared. And I really appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Am I talking to myself?
No,
Yeah.
no. Thanks.
Yeah.
Oh, so we can stop, Abby.
Aye. Yeah, yeah.
I know.